Morning guys, this is Hannah from the Ford's Family Farm. Thank you for joining me this morning. I'm going to be actually walking you guys through the process of making homemade pasta. You could do spaghetti, lasagna, sheets, whatever you want with this dough. I have a hand pasta maker that I'll be attaching to my countertop and just rolling it out by hand. So I'll be walking you through the process of that, as well as making a homemade sauce today for the lasagna and the ricotta, the meatballs, just the whole process of our Easter dinner. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining us. If you like these videos, just do me a favor. Will you like it and subscribe? So that would just encourage us to know that you're being blessed by these videos, and it would just bless us as well as a family to know that these videos are just making an impact in your life. So thank you for joining me today as we just go through this day of making our homemade dinner for Easter Resurrection Sunday. Okay, so my pasta recipe is 3 eggs, 3 cups of flour, a tablespoon of olive oil, and also 3 tablespoons of water. So you add the water as the eggs and the flour and the salt are mixing together. You add the water a little bit at a time until it becomes until the dough comes off of the sides of the bowl, and you want it to be a firm texture. So I'm going to go ahead. I crack all my eggs inside a measuring cup so that way I know if there's any shells that get in here or not. So I go ahead and I do that. So I'm going to put my eggs in here. It's 9 eggs. 9 eggs. And then I'm going to measure out 9 cups of flour. Oh, actually, nope, that's not true. It's 2 cups of flour. So 3 eggs for a batch, 2 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 3 tablespoons of water, and also a half a teaspoon of salt, or a teaspoon of salt. It's actually to taste, so you don't want to have bland pasta. You can always add salt to the water too if you don't want to add salt to the recipe. That's totally fine as well. I'm going to pull my flour bin over here. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's 6. Sorry about that, guys. Waiting for my tripod to come in the mail, so it makes it a little bit easier to be able to film this. But for the meantime, you guys are going to be at a weird angle. So a tablespoon of olive oil. Sayla, don't drop that, baby. And then I'm going to use this for my water. So I'm going to start to mix it on low. Yeah, baby girl. I put my teaspoon, half a teaspoon of salt into the flour. I usually forget to do that, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I have it mixing on low. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. So I got it mixing on low, and see how it's starting to get like crumbly. I'm going to mix it. Start to add the water little bits at a time. It'll start to pull away from the sides of the bowl. And so this is just going to be like a basic kneading to mix all the ingredients together. But afterwards, I will take it out. I will take it out of my the bowl and I will hand knead it after that. Okay, so you see how it's now, it's pulled away from the sides of the bowl, the wall of the bowl. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. I'm then going to take it out of the bowl. Okay, so I'm going to roll it out onto this surface. And you want your dough, see how it's still wet? It's wet. It still needs to be kneaded. So you roll it out onto a floured surface. Not too much flour, because then the more it'll become tough. Too much flour. It has to have the right amount of flour and egg. So this is an egg pasta. And just with the palms of your hands, you're going to fold and you're going to press. You're going to fold and you're going to press. And you're going to keep doing that for about 4 minutes until it's really, really kneaded. And afterwards, you're going to wrap it in saran wrap or plastic wrap. Put it in the refrigerator for up to 30 minutes. So that way it gets firm. And it actually changes the chemistry of the dough. So that when you take it out of the refrigerator after a half an hour, you'll be able to cut it and roll it out, and it'll be easier to work with. So I'm gonna go ahead and knead the dough. And okay, so I showed you how to do the pasta. It's in the refrigerator chilling right now. In the meantime, I'm making my marinara sauce. So you can take 5 cloves of garlic, mince them up, 1 medium-sized onion, chop it up into small pieces, and some canola oil, vegetable oil, whatever you prefer to use. And then you saute it inside, you saute it in a pan. I'm gonna actually add some sauce bones from our pig that we harvested last month. I'm actually gonna put tongue in there too, the pig tongue, only because it is so yummy in the sauce. It is delicious. So I'm gonna actually be putting that into my sauce and cooking that up. It should make the sauce super rich and flavorful and yummy. And so then I'm going to add the tomato sauce to that. I don't have any jarred tomato sauce that I made last year or harvested or canned last year. I have just a can of tomato sauce that I got from the store. A big can, you can do a big can. It's like $3 for a really big can. So I'll be putting that in there once this has browned and gotten. So I'm gonna add some. So it's starting to get brown. So I'll take that off of the heat. I'm gonna open up my can of tomato sauce, add it to that, and then let that cook on low for the day and get just really, really good and concentrated flavor. And while that is cooking, I will be rolling out my pasta, and I will show you a video of me or a clip of me doing that when I do that. So stay tuned. Okay, so I'm going to open up my can of sauce, add it to my onions and my garlic that has been browned. I think I'm going to add some pork sauce bones to this as well, just to give this some added extra flavor. You can do this spicy, make the arrabbiata by adding crushed red pepper to the garlic and the onion while you're browning it. I have my little kids. I love spice, but my children do not like it, so I'm not going to be putting it in the sauce. So you add the can of tomato, and then you're going to rinse your can out, and then you're going to add the water to the sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And let that cook on a medium to high, come to a boil. And then I'll turn it on low and let it just cook all day long, just on low. Just adding water to it periodically so it doesn't get super thick and burn. So just just watching it. It's pretty loose, so I don't foresee it burning. And that's really it. It's super easy. Okay guys, so I'm going to be doing rolling out my lasagna sheets. This is the pasta machine that I use. I grew up, I got this at Goodwill, I think for it was like $9, half off, when they had their 50% off, the sticker price, I guess it was. But so this is the machine I use. You attach it to your countertop like this. And you just basically roll it out. This is the machine that I grew up using in our household. This is what my mom used to make our pasta. And so it's just very reminiscent for me to also use this machine. I know it's a lot more work. You can get attachments for your KitchenAid and a pasta attachment for your KitchenAid if you have a KitchenAid. Or you could do it this way. There's lots of different ways you can hand roll it if you prefer doing that. But I'm going to walk you through the steps of making pasta using this machine. Okay, so I floured my surface. I took this out of the refrigerator. It's still pretty soft. So it's been in there for about 30 minutes. I think I'm going to put it in the freezer for like 10 minutes. Just to get it chilled and get it a little bit hard, so that way when I work it, it's not overly soft, because then the pasta sheets can tear and rip. And it's just easier to work with it when it's a little bit firmer. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the freezer for 10 minutes, and then I'll come back to you guys. Okay guys, so I'm gonna section this off into pieces about that big. Really flour it really good. I'm gonna make a sand dollar, and then I'm gonna put my setting on the biggest setting, which would be a 1. I'm gonna roll it. And as you do that, making sure it's really well floured, go through a couple of times. And then you're going to change the setting to a thinner setting, going from 1 and then up to 3 and then up to 6. So I go every 3 gauges. So 1, 3, 6, and then 9 is the last one. So that's a 6. Then I'm going to go to a 9. You don't want to just start on the thinnest setting, because what it will do is it'll rip your dough. And then as it pulls at it, then you have this big sheet of lasagna. And what I actually do, because this is obviously too big, is I will cut it into sections. So I'll do 3 sections. So this will be three pieces like this. And don't forget, when you boil the pasta sheet, it expands. It is an egg pasta, so it's going to expand a little bit. And you just want to make sure your surface is really floured, so that way it doesn't stick.
Can I do it?
And here again, not right now, buddy. I'm going to go back to setting number 1. This dough came out a lot softer than it normally does, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Making sure your surface is really floured. Then I'm going to go to 6. And then 9 again. And I will continue to do this until all of it has been rolled out. It should take me about 30 minutes or so. And then after that, I'll boil them, chill them, lay them flat on a cookie sheet. And then when I'm ready to assemble, they'll be ready to go. Hey guys, so I did the pasta sheets. Now I'm cooking them and rinsing them in cool water, and then laying them with plastic wrap right here, so it's already ready to go, so I can just assemble the lasagnas and everything. All the prep work is done. So I'll just store these in the refrigerator until I assemble the lasagnas. Just finishing up that, and they'll stay in the refrigerator up to, you know, 3 days, even to 5 days. I mean, it's not going to spoil or go bad or anything like that. So that's what I will be doing. I will then show you guys a clip of me assembling the lasagnas when I do that later on today. Okay guys, I'm going to be mixing my ricotta for the lasagna. So this is a 15-pound ricotta, part skim milk. It's already pre-whipped, but I'm going to whip it anyways because I need to add egg to it. So I'm doing like 3 lasagnas, a large one and then 2 smaller ones. So I'm going to use this whole container of ricotta. And then you're going to put parsley, chopped up parsley, salt and pepper, and I will probably put about 6 eggs. And then whip it really, really good. And then you can make sure you taste it for salt though. So that's in. Parsley chopped up. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And then salt and pepper. I use Himalayan salt. I've always used Himalayan salt. But you can use any salt that you have. So that's 1 tablespoon. It's 2 tablespoons. And I know that seems like a lot, like a tablespoon. Wow, that's a lot of salt, right? But when it's baked and you have sauce on top of it, and then the cheese and the pasta, it's really not a lot of salt, especially when you're doing a large pan. So I will be doing this pan. It's a pretty big pan, and it's pretty deep as well. So we'll be doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and whip this up. Let's get pepper. Sorry guys, 1 second. So we'll get some pepper. Today's actually Saturday. Resurrection Day is tomorrow, but we'll be going to church early tomorrow. Well, not early. It starts at 10. But I just like to we're going to have guests over here, and I just like to be prepared. That way I can actually enjoy my day, enjoy my kids, enjoy my husband, and not be like rushing around. I have the tendency to do that. I have the tendency to be like have a Mary's heart sometimes. Just being transparent. And I get so busy with the serving that I forget to sit, and I forget the worshiping. The worshiping, even though serving is an act of worship, it's really important to just sit and just reflect and just to take it all in. And so by doing the prep work in advance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. I'm going to start with 5 eggs and see where we're at. Doing the prep work in advance allows me the freedom to be able to sit and enjoy my family and our friends that'll be coming over. I'm going to go ahead and mix this up and whip it. Tasting it for salt. Yeah, it's good. The more eggs you add, the more fluffy the ricotta will be. I'm going to go ahead and add another egg. And then after that's done, I'm going to go ahead and assemble the lasagna, and I'll take you guys on that video with me to be able to do that. Trying to film when you have 6 children is the hardest thing to do. so bear with me. Okay, so this is the third time I've tried to film this video about me assembling the lasagna. So I put my sauce, did a base coat in the bottom of my pan. I layered the pasta sheets at the bottom, creating a good solid foundation. And then I'm going to go ahead and start layering my ingredients. So this is the ricotta, then the mozzarella, then more sauce, and then so on and so forth. Up and up and up. And then you don't want to go all the way to the top with the, you want to leave a little bit of space because this will swell. The lasagna will swell up because of the eggs. So you want to be mindful of that. So I would go at least a half an inch below, maybe even an inch below the pan, the height of the pan. So that way you have room for it to swell up. Go ahead and do that. Lots of cheese, lots of sauce, lots of ricotta. How can you not like lasagna? It's just like the best. In my other video, I actually put the pork. If you guys remember the video, if you watched it or subscribed to our channel, I did a video about rendering the fat from our pigs. And I did the fat, I cut it into small pieces, and then I mixed it with olive oil, garlic, Parmesan, cracked pepper, and salt, and I froze it, and so that way I could use it in my sauce. And I put a bunch of it in here. I'm not gonna put it in the lasagna, but it just gives such a rich flavor to the sauce. Like, and I also put the pig's tongue in here because there's so much juice and flavor, and it just gives the sauce such a richness. So that's what I did with this marinara sauce today, hoping that everybody likes it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my second layer. One of the things I remember really vividly about my childhood is my mom would always have people around the table. I don't think anybody should spend any holiday alone. I don't think it's right. I think everybody has a place at the table. And you know, if we're following the Lord and we have the Lord's heart, I think that we need to be the hands and feet of Jesus. And so I remember my mom, I mean, she'd pick up homeless people off the street, and I mean, it was a different time back then than the times that we're living in now, but nonetheless, this principle still applies, just to do unto others as you would want them to do to you. I think if everybody lived by that, I think that the world would be a better place. We live in peculiar times, so I'm going to go ahead and now do another layer of the ricotta and the mozzarella. And I'm going to go ahead and go through this and finish this off. And then at the end, I will show you guys a quick snap video of what it looks like when I'm finished. Okay guys, so I finished assembling the lasagna. I'm going to go ahead and put some parchment paper on top of it and then cover it with foil and put it in the refrigerator, so that way tomorrow morning I can put it in the oven, or not morning, but tomorrow around 11 I'll put it in the oven for 45 minutes at 375. 375 for 45 minutes. And then when you take it out of the oven, you let it set for about 30 minutes, and kind of, it'll still be hot, but it'll set the ingredients, and then you serve it. So you don't want to serve it straight out of the oven because it'll be like runny, the cheese and stuff. So you have to let it set. So that's really it. It's pretty easy. Okay guys, so I didn't get to do the video of the meatballs, but I will do a video at a future date about our meatballs, about my meatballs and how I make them. But I hope you all had an amazing Resurrection Day. I hope you were blessed with your family. Thank you for tuning in and subscribing. And go ahead and like our channel, and I'll see you guys soon.